Excellent. Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to see everyone's virtual smiley faces. This will probably be our last virtual power breakfast. I think we'll end up going into a hybrid format where we'll have an actual breakfast for those of you that can physically attend, and then of course we'll stream it virtually for anybody that can't. But it's great to see everybody, and once again, this is the power breakfast. I'm Michael Skinner. I'm the CEO of the Innovation Cluster, and I'm going to kind of go through a few slides here, and then I'm going to pass it over to our speakers. So, of course, today's presentation is on the fundamentals of blockchain, which is something that's very, very exciting. I know a lot of you that are our clients are looking at types of blockchain and integration of blockchain into some of the products that you're building and how you can tie it together. So, hopefully, you're going to find this very interesting. I always like to start by thanking our core partners. So Fleming College, Trent University, the Peterborough Angels, City of Peterborough, City of Kawartha Lakes, FedDev, and the Province of Ontario, as well as we have a new sponsor, Franklin Empire, which I'm really happy to have come on board. Franklin provides a variety of electronic devices. They just recently made a large donation to help with our makerspace that's located in Peterborough. So they've added, basically allowed us to add in a new 3D printer, some gas spectrometers, as well as some additional equipment around virtual reality to really expand the water makerspace and to refresh the equipment that we had in the old virtual reality makerspace and to add some of the new equipment into it. So again, those of you with access to Peterborough and those of you that are coming to Peterborough, obviously it's going to be some great equipment that you'll get access to. We, of course, have lots and lots of partners. And so I kind of always like to put the slide up because if it wasn't for these partners, we wouldn't be able to provide the services we do today. So just a big shout out to all of our partners that help fund the Innovation Cluster, as well as provide consulting services and consulting advice to a lot of our clients. Our team is still very small. There's 5 of us in our team today. And so you obviously have been interacting, many of you have been interacting with each of us at different levels. We are very entrepreneurial as a team, and so we act very much like entrepreneurs. You'll see you get access and emails from a lot of us at different times of nights and days. It's because we're really always on to really help our clients. But of course, we couldn't do what we do without a great volunteer board. We've got a lot of very prominent individuals in our community that make up our board today. We're actually looking for 3 board members, and so there will be our newsletter is going out on Monday. We'll have a link to an application form. But if you know anybody, if you're interested in joining a very, very dynamic board, we'd love to have your application. And please take a look and look for it when you see that email go out. We sort of have 3 mandates for those of you that don't know what the Innovation Cluster is. So first one is basically is strengthening our innovation and entrepreneurship capacity. So basically our job is to strengthen innovative entrepreneurs and to make sure that we've got a community in our region that's very innovative and that we've got entrepreneurs thinking about being innovative entrepreneurs. As part of that, we help with the assistance in forming of these new companies. So again, innovative-based companies, once you have an idea, an innovation, how do you take it to market? How do you commercialize it? We're here to really walk you through the steps and to make sure that you're able to do that. And then last is really to grow our knowledge-based economy. A lot of what we're doing is trying to grow our region and making it, or continue to make it into a hub for innovation and to make excellence of innovation kind of being born out of this community. And so that's our job, is to continue growing that knowledge-based economy and to work with other individual companies that may not be clients as well, to kind of bring them into that ecosystem to make sure that we've got a strong innovation-based ecosystem in Peterborough and the Kawarthas. For those of you who are not a client, want to become a client, it's very, very simple. Just www.innovationcluster.ca. There's an apply button up in the top corner. Click on the button and fill out the form. So we're always looking to support new innovative entrepreneurs that are in Peterborough and the Kawartha area. And so if you're interested, please consider applying. I'm just going to quickly turn it over to Rhonda Keenan from Peterborough and Kawartha Economic Development. Rhonda is the sponsor, or Peterborough Economic Development is the sponsor of this breakfast. And I'd just like them to say a few words.
Great. Thanks so much, Mike. And good morning, everyone. So Peterborough and the Kawarthas Economic Development, we're funded by the city and the county to do their economic development work, their in-house economic development work. And really, we're tasked with creating an environment where businesses can thrive. And so we help businesses get started, we help understand, advocate, and help to remove barriers that are preventing businesses from growing. We promote the destination for visitation and attract new investment to the region. And it's important to note we have about 3,500 businesses that we support across a wide range of sectors. We also connect businesses with the great resources that they need as they develop and expand their business. And the Innovation Cluster, of course, is a strong organization and provides a really valuable service to those technology-based companies operating in this area. And so thanks very much for having me here this morning. What we do know is that the last couple of years have been pretty wild and unpredictable, and businesses have needed a lot of support. And so COVID itself was a disruptor, and I know that we're all tired of the word pivot, but it's, successful businesses have always pivoted. They've always been on a continuous path of improvement and seeking out new innovation in order to remain competitive. And I always like that quote that Sir Richard Branson says, that every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. And so I think that's a good sense of what we've been talking about for the last 2 years is the need to change and adapt. But I think it's important to note that COVID hasn't really impacted all of our businesses equally. Some of our businesses are reporting their busiest years ever, while others have been forced to stay closed for a significant portion of time. And so recovery is going to be very different for every single business, and they all need our support. But for the first time, I think we're finally starting to feel optimistic, and we can start to work on work that's not related to the pandemic, and so that's pretty exciting. And so what we see is growth from the GTA is inevitable, much like it did to the west and to the north of the GTA. Substantial growth has been realized in Durham, and it's that growth is now migrating further east. And so Peterborough is expected to realize over 40% population growth out to 2051, but I really think that this target's probably going to be reached well before 2051. And it's also interesting to note over COVID that we witnessed intense interest in the rural communities, not just in the city. And so I think there's significant opportunities for business to take advantage of this future growth that is coming in. And we need to make sure that we're taking an innovative approach to prepare for that future and allow that type of growth to continue in an efficient way. So innovation has always been the backbone of the Peterborough economy, dating back to Edison in the 1890s with the Edison General Electric Company. And although a lot has changed since that time, an industrious and innovative approach to building business in Peterborough and the Kawarthas has not. And so both Fleming College and Trent University are globally recognized for their excellence in research and innovation. Clean Tech Commons at Trent University and Ontario Tech University, just one region over, will all be drivers for building a sustainable and innovative economy in the future. And so ideas are being generated there. Students are being trained for the next generation of workforce at these institutions. And so if you're in a business in this region and you're not connecting yourself to one of these post-secondary education institutions, let's talk offline about why you need to do this. And between the Innovation Cluster and PKED, we can certainly help make those connections for you because we feel that you need them. And so I just want to end with thank you for hosting this session this morning and bringing a great speaker in to talk about blockchain and who should be using this technology. I know it's, again, with continuous improvement, it's all about learning new skills and learning new information. So I can't wait to learn more. And thank you on behalf of PKED.
Thank you very much, Rhonda, and thank you very much to your team. Your team has done miraculous work in the last 2 years as you really helped, hate to use the word, but many organizations pivot. But also, as Rhonda said, there has been a number of organizations, especially in the innovation space, that have excelled. Organizations which had already had some kind of distance technology. They were building that. There's lots of solutions that were, going to the web, and with COVID and really with the separation and kind of people locking themselves basically in their houses. This has really pushed a lot of this technology forward, and so we've seen it. So it's a tough job that Rhonda does because she's kind of moving all the different groups and all the different stakeholders together on a regular basis. But her and her team do an amazing job. And so once again, Rhonda, thanks for today's sponsorship and just thanks for what you do for our community as well. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to our speaker. So Natalia is the co-founder and CEO of InnoFin Consulting Inc. She's an award-winning author, speaker, fintech program leader at the Wharton University of Pennsylvania. She's a community member on the Standards Council of Canada. She's an Entrepreneur Magazine contributor and actually a graduate of our Women Breaking Barriers program. So we're really, really excited to have Atalia talk today, and I'm going to turn off my screen so that she can share hers, and I'm going to turn it over to Atalia. So thank you, Talia, and welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. Welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time to attend this session. I know it's very early in the morning, but hopefully you'll enjoy the next hour. All right, so just making sure. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right, perfect. All right. So if at any time you cannot see me or you cannot see my screen, please let me know, and I'll make sure I fix that as soon as possible. So yes, welcome to this Power Breakfast. We will be talking about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. The way I like to run these presentations is to really kind of make it as easy as possible to digest. So there won't be a lot of technical terms that I will be using, and so hopefully you find it interesting. And before I go on, I want to again thank the Innovation Cluster for inviting me. I've been part of the Innovation Cluster for a few years now, and the team has been very welcoming, very professional, very competent, and it's been great. So thank you so much for making carving this space for me today. So as Michael already mentioned, my name is Natalia Dopus. I'm founder of Innofin, and Innofin is a blockchain company. We provide education, strategy, and implementation services. If you'd like to stay in touch with me, well, these are the contact information as displayed on the screen. So feel free at any time to reach out to discuss partnership opportunities or funding opportunities, anything. Before I go on, though, I want to just highlight the fact that this presentation really has nothing to do with advising you in terms of your investment or your legal needs or your tax needs. It's meant to really just provide you with the general information, and always consult your licensed professional to get the advice that you need. Having said that, the agenda. So first we'll go into an introduction of blockchain to kind of set the context. Then we'll dive into what cryptocurrencies are. And if you're already familiar with cryptocurrencies, hopefully you'll find some new piece of information here. We'll talk about what is blockchain, and then we'll talk about crypto how-tos, do's and don'ts, and hopefully towards the end we'll have enough time for questions and answers. I know I love to talk about this subject, so I'll try to be as concise and brief as possible. So money today. For many centuries, the money as we know it has developed into paper money, credit cards, and money that we hold in our bank accounts. This type of money is typically centralized, meaning that this type of money is governed and owned really and monitored by governments. Governments have their financial arms that take care of pushing money into the economy, increasing the money supply or decreasing the money supply by increasing interest rates or decreasing interest rates, depending on the monetary policy that needs to be applied for X and Y reasons. And so because money as we know it today, the popular form of money as we know it today is centralized and governed by this kind of governments, they're also contained within borders. What does that mean? That means that if I wanted to spend, for instance, Canadian dollars outside of Canada, I wouldn't be able to do that. If I wanted to go to the US, I'll have to exchange my Canadian dollars for US dollars. And we all know that that costs something. And so therefore, while the monetary system that we have, the centralized monetary system that we have today has its efficiencies, sometimes it also lacks a lot of flexibility. So this is the money that we know today, but there's also a new form of money that is emerging. And that new form of money is called cryptocurrency or cryptocurrencies. So unlike the money that is monitored and emitted by central banks, cryptocurrencies are controlled by nobody. But at the same time, they can be accessed by everybody. They run on a platform, on a technological platform that automates the process of pushing money into that crypto digital economy. And because they're not controlled by any governments or run by any central banks, they are borderless. What does that mean? It means that if I wanted to, if there was a cryptocurrency, a specific cryptocurrency that I was interested in, I could spend that one cryptocurrency in Canada. I could spend that exact same cryptocurrency in the US. I could spend it in El Salvador, in South America, in Europe, without having to every time transfer my cryptocurrency into another currency. With only one requirement, or a few requirements, I have to say. First requirement, the ability for the user, for the spender of that cryptocurrency to have some kind of online access through a device, maybe a mobile phone or a laptop, but also with the ability for that user of that cryptocurrency to find somebody else at the end of the transaction they're trying to perform that is willing to accept their cryptocurrency. So that is really the only requirement. And so today, more concretely speaking, you could use cryptocurrency to do a few things, pay taxes, and in Canada, buy a house in New York or LA, pay for coffee at a Starbucks in El Salvador, do business, transact, use cryptocurrency to do business in Nigeria, for instance, and many other users. So now to understand the principles and the fundamentals of cryptocurrencies, we really need to go back to the origin of cryptocurrencies. So it all started in 2009. And if you've been around for long enough, if you're old enough, you remember that in 2009, there was a great financial crisis that came from a lot of financial institutions, especially in the US, that decided to invest in very risky financial instruments that they didn't understand. And so these financial instruments were generating a lot of profits for these financial institutions, but then they really didn't understand what they were doing. To make a long story short, when everything fell apart, many of these financial institutions that were deemed too big to fail, Merrill Lynch, for instance, Lehman Brothers, another one, they had to be bailed out by the government. And so back then, the government really was trying to help these institutions, but what ended up happening is many of the people who suffer from the consequences of these bad decisions that these financial institutions made felt that the measures that were taken were not really beneficial to themselves, that the measures that were taken at the end only benefited these financial institutions. Many people felt that, you know, the bailouts that the government put out didn't help them when they had to lose their jobs, when they had to lose their houses, when they had to lose their retirement savings, their 401ks. And so a lot of people were very frustrated. And so out of that frustration, they felt that if they could have their own say into how the government dispenses money, especially to these financial institutions, then they will feel more in control. They will feel more heard of. And really, this is when Satoshi Nakamoto, nobody really knows who he is or who she is or who they are, came up with the first cryptocurrency. And so the goal was to have this cryptocurrency that anybody that wanted to participate in maintaining that cryptocurrency, anybody that wanted to do that, and anybody in the world that wanted to use that cryptocurrency could do it. And also, one of the major reasons why Satoshi Nakamoto came up with that first cryptocurrency is because he wanted, or he or she or they wanted to have a cryptocurrency that will have no government control whatsoever. And for that reason, cryptocurrencies are often deemed the money by the people for the people. So having said that, as people started understanding how that first cryptocurrency that Satoshi Nakamoto came up with worked, they deemed the technology that powered that cryptocurrency blockchain. So blockchain as a word existed before, but it really only became a thing when Satoshi Nakamoto came up with that first cryptocurrency. And so as you can see on the screen, the way that blockchain works, which is very different from the traditional financial system, is that the traditional financial system tends to keep data in a centralized database. What does that mean? So what is a data to begin with? A data really is any kind of information. For instance, if I wanted to buy something with money and I wanted to send that money to somebody else, that transaction will become data, and that data will be held on an institution database or servers, systems. And only that institution will be able to access that data. And so today we know this because as much as we own money in our bank accounts, we are not really able to look into the accounts of the central bank, the Central Bank of Canada, for instance. We are really not even able to look into the accounts of banks that service us, such as TD, RBC, and so on and so forth. So where blockchain changed things is blockchain says, well, why do we need a central database when we could kind of convince people from all over the world to dedicate their computer resources, their electricity resources to maintaining a financial system? And so if you're able to convince people to kind of rally around that ideology of money by the people for the people, then we wouldn't really need to have a central authority or a central bank to make sure that the financial system was sound enough. And so blockchain does this, gives people and individuals and even entities the freedom to maintain a financial system, but with the major difference that all of the blockchain systems, everything that regulates that currency, that cryptocurrency, is coded and decided in advance. So there's never going to be a big maybe crisis where we'll decide randomly that we will want to push more cryptocurrencies in the system. There will always be predictability around the management of that cryptocurrency, and that predictability is ensured and assured through coding. And when you do that, you're able to automate a currency system. And so the way that blockchain operates is through decentralization. And that decentralization, as I mentioned, requires the rallying of people around one ideology, which means that often blockchain systems are community-based. So for instance, if at the innovation cluster, we have a community of entrepreneurs. So if these entrepreneurs wanted to rally around, create their own financial systems, their own way of dealing with each other, of transacting with each other, they could do that using blockchain. And so if we expanded that concept of a community-based financial system, if at Peterborough, for instance, all of the residents of Peterborough rallied around this ideology of having their own digital financial system and economy, they could use blockchain to do that. And so when you start expanding this concept of communities to cities and to regions, to cities, to even a global ideology, you get a cryptocurrency that is borderless. So essentially, blockchain democratizes money. Money is no longer a currency that can only be issued by a government, but it is a currency that can be issued by anyone. It could be issued by me, it could be issued by the company, it could be issued by all kinds of people, by enterprises, by all kinds of people, including by governments, by the way. And so the first cryptocurrency that used the blockchain created by Satoshi was called Bitcoin. And because of its seniority, so it's been around for almost more than a decade now, it is also the most popular cryptocurrency. It is powered by blockchain, and by definition, it has no bank. Those who rally around Bitcoin tends to be those people that have kind of this liberal mindset. And so while Bitcoin was the very first cryptocurrency, today, there have been many variations and forms of cryptocurrencies that have been created once people started understanding how blockchain, the technology under cryptocurrencies worked. There are more than 18,000 cryptocurrencies in circulation today. And these cryptocurrencies you can buy, sell, and trade or acquire through exchanges, online marketplaces. And there are today more than 400 exchanges in existence where you can do just that. And so if you find it odd for a cryptocurrency to be traded, I'd like to remind you that even our regular forms of money, Canadian dollars, US dollars, are traded every day. They vary in price every day, and they're traded on the forex on the forex. And so we don't see it, we don't feel it, but these kind of variations happen on a daily basis. What is very interesting about cryptocurrencies, though, is that because of the decentralized system that powers them, they can be traded 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when Canada is sleeping, when North America is sleeping, Europe is trading cryptocurrencies, Asia is trading cryptocurrencies, and every day the circle goes on and on and on and on. And I really felt that when a few days ago I wanted to buy a regular stock on an exchange, and I couldn't buy that stock because I had to wait because it was on a Friday. And so I had to wait for the following Monday, before I could buy that stock. So when it comes to cryptocurrencies, there are some a kind of financial instruments that you can buy at any time, at any day, or even right now. So that makes it very exciting. So how do you use crypto today? So we understand how it works, but how do we use cryptocurrencies today? Well, you can buy and invest in cryptocurrencies using these exchanges that I talked about. You can pay your taxes with it. It's being done in Canada, it's being done in the US, it's being done in many other countries today. So again, that same cryptocurrency you can use every time without having to make that transfer, do that transfer. You can accept payments and donations. So today, large organizations accept donations. Companies accept payments. Large institutional companies accept payments with cryptocurrencies. Countries, if you're familiar with the Ukraine war crisis, the Ukraine has been accepting donations via cryptocurrency because of the fact that the financial system kind of crumbled due to the war. You can pay for goods and services with cryptocurrencies. If you have employees who are a part of the crypto community, they might accept to be paid in cryptocurrencies, to have their salaries paid in cryptocurrencies. And of course, I couldn't preach cryptocurrencies without, of course, making sure that we walked the talk, because, well, at Inofin, we also accept crypto payments, either through our services or through our brand new platform. So again, to illustrate the point that I made earlier, companies that accept crypto today include Coca-Cola, so companies that you're very familiar with: Amazon, Microsoft, PayPal, Starbucks, Twitch, Tesla. NGOs that accept crypto donations, the Canadian Red Cross, War Child, and many other ones accept crypto donations today. So now, what is really interesting about cryptocurrencies is that they are very versatile, meaning there are many ways to have a cryptocurrency and to use a cryptocurrency. So some of the popular uses of cryptocurrencies include using a cryptocurrency as an alternative form of money. So if you do not want to use the Canadian dollar, you have a cryptocurrency, you could use that instead. So you could also use what we call today stable coins. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term, but stable coins, and I'm looking at the time here, stable coins are these kind of cryptocurrencies that do not fluctuate. They do not fluctuate in the sense that they are typically pegged to something else, to an asset. So that asset could be another currency like the Canadian dollar. It could be a basket of currencies, US, Euro, Yen, whatnot, a basket of that. It could also be a precious metal, a currency that is pegged to gold or to silver or whatnot, diamonds or whatnot. And it could really also be a cryptocurrency that which stability is maintained through a set of formulas. And so very interestingly, today there is a new trend among stablecoins, and that trend is called the central bank digital currency, or CBDCs. And so CBDCs is what? It's actually now governments themselves wanting to create their own forms of cryptocurrency. So just last week, it was announced that the Bank of Canada is working with MIT to develop a cryptocurrency that will mirror the Canadian dollar. So a lot of that is happening. China already has a cryptocurrency. The Bahamas, they already have a cryptocurrency with the $10. So this is really where we are going, where the future is going. And then another way of using cryptocurrencies is through investments. So I briefly mentioned investments. So you put money into a crypto and then you hope for it to go up. Maybe in the near future or in the far future. But there's another type of investment that many people are not aware of, which is called DeFi. DeFi for decentralized finance. So a decentralized finance means that you have a bunch of systems in place that allow you to earn cryptocurrency on your cryptocurrency, much like you will earn interest on your savings account. These systems are put in place so you can earn crypto on your crypto. And there are many ways to do that. You can stake your crypto, you can provide liquidity to a crypto market, and so on and so forth. But what is very interesting in the case of cryptocurrencies is that the interest that you get sometimes might be as high as 20% per annum. So if you compare that to the 1.5% per annum that we get by putting money into our savings account, it is quite interesting, right? And attractive. We also have cryptocurrencies that are just pure storage of value. So like Bitcoin, really, they're just there to, again, be used to conserve money. So for instance, whenever there is a crisis somewhere, in Venezuela, there was this hyperinflation. The Bolivar was losing value by the seconds. So what Venezuelans did was move their money into mostly Bitcoin so they could preserve their purchasing power. So this kind of things is how cryptocurrencies are used. And last but not least, we have not really last but not least, but we also have a utility cryptocurrencies. So these utility cryptocurrencies are kind of different from regular cryptocurrencies in the sense that they allow you to have access to a platform. So you can see, for instance, on the right-hand side, a few tokens, right? So you have a few tokens here. These are casino tokens. And in a casino, these tokens allow you to play games, but once you leave the casino, they kind of lose value. So you'll have to exchange these tokens in the casino into something else in order to for them to have value outside of the casino system. And so these utility tokens are used, or cryptocurrencies are used to have access to specific applications. And so one way to push that idea further is by having a loyalty point that is blockchain-based and crypto-based. And the way it kind of changes our relationship with loyalty points is that these loyalty points, crypto-based loyalty points, you can transfer them to somebody else, unlike loyalty points that you might be familiar with. You can transfer them to somebody else. You can sell them, you can trade them, and in fact, you can keep them forever. So this is really how cryptocurrencies are, or the many type of cryptocurrencies that we have. And there's also another form of cryptocurrency, which is a cryptocurrency that is unique, that represents something unique as opposed to representing multiple things. And so this kind of cryptocurrencies are called non-fungible tokens because they represent something that is unique. And they're often appreciated by people who are in the art sector, artists, because they allow them to have a digital form of their arts that they can earn royalties from forever, because thanks to the blockchain, they're able to trace and to track every time somebody that bought their digital asset resells it to somebody else, and so on and so forth. So these are digital art, digital collectibles. And by the way, the platform that we have built in RVDU allows you to earn these digital collectibles for free by learning. You can earn them by learning, and we kind of gamify the process of learning that sort of way. So anyway, so I don't know, do I have enough time, Michael? Because I can see that I'm kind of running out of time. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
you basically
all right. So
have,
let's go.
yeah, you're good for another maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions for sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to try to wrap this up really quickly. So how do you own cryptocurrencies? So many ways you can, again, by going on our platform InnoVideo, loyalty.innovideo.ca, or just InnoVideo, and then there are ways for you to get to loyalty.innovideo.ca. You earn every time you learn. So we want to encourage you to learn. So every time you learn, you earn some practice cryptocurrencies. So they're not real, but they are there for you to practice your crypto skills. You can earn them, and then you kind of can get familiar with the processes of using cryptocurrencies risk-free. You can also buy cryptocurrencies on exchanges, as I mentioned earlier. You can buy a cryptocurrency directly from somebody else. You don't have to go through an exchange to transact a cryptocurrency between you and somebody else. And this is really the power really of blockchain. The only thing you need between that person and yourself is that blockchain technology, that blockchain platform. So you can do that. So if you find somebody else that has maybe Bitcoin and you want to buy it directly from them, you can do that without going through an exchange. And you can also buy cryptocurrencies from ATMs. So maybe in your neighborhood, there is a store, and that store might have an ATM that allows you to buy cryptocurrencies from it. You can, and so once you have those cryptocurrencies, you need to keep them somewhere, just like you need to keep your money into a bank account. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, you're going to keep them in your digital wallet. Digital wallets have many forms, but here I'm displaying the easiest form, and it's just kind of an application, a mobile application that you download on your phone. And in your mobile application, you can keep your Bitcoin, your all kind of cryptocurrencies. So on the right-hand side, you can see Bitcoin, you can see BCH for Bitcoin Cash, another crypto, ETH for Ethereum, ETC for Ethereum Classic, so many cryptocurrencies. There are 18,000 of them. And just quickly, I want to point out that Bitcoin, for instance, today is worth $44,000, but you don't need to own one Bitcoin. As you can see on the screen, you can own 0.00001 Bitcoin, which might be equivalent to $20 of Bitcoin. So you don't have to be rich to have access to cryptocurrencies, even when they are going up in value. So let's see. Quick do's and don'ts for beginners. Always educate yourself before buying and investing in crypto. When you use crypto as an investment, do not put in more than you can afford to lose, especially if you're a beginner. Those who know their way around cryptocurrencies can afford to, make bigger investments. But if you're a beginner, a novice, make sure that you never put in more than you can afford to lose. You can, as you saw earlier, you can even put in $6, right? Always try to earn free cryptos first, right? Earn free cryptos, and then when you're again, you've gained a good level of understanding, graduate to the next level. Pick and preciously keep your crypto wallet, just like you'll preciously keep your bank account. And always follow best online practices. So I just want to take the next few seconds to introduce InnoVidU. InnoVidU is really a platform that emerged from our work, really, with the innovation cluster. It's an online emerging tech education platform with a mission to augment the global human capital, so no one is left behind by innovation. You can register today for free on it. And the moment you register, you'll have access to free practice cryptocurrencies. We also show you really quickly in a few seconds how to create your own digital wallet. You earn these tokens. You can also earn our NFTs from the Hangman collection, and then invite your friends onto the platform and start trading between each other. And that sort of gives you even more practical skills for this brave new world that is coming, right? And on RVDU, you can also learn about other emerging technologies, not just blockchain, but also AI, IoT, and AR, VR. So that's that for me today. Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you, Michael, for letting me speak to the end of the presentation. I'm happy to take any questions now.
Talia, thank you very much for that. We actually do have a couple questions going into the chat. And so what I'll do is I'll just moderate them and read them out to you. And I know we've got sort of 5 minutes left. So if anybody else has some questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. So first question is just about risk. So, what are the risks of owning crypto? And it's basically, how do you lose their value? Obviously, we've heard about crypto, and I think you talked a little bit about stablecoin versus crypto, but maybe just cover that just a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Yes, definitely. So the risk of cryptocurrencies is they do fluctuate in value. So you can, for instance, Bitcoin, which is the most popular cryptocurrency that has about 50% of the crypto market, fluctuates a lot in value. And so when you get into cryptocurrencies, you have to go in with that kind of mindset, expecting it to fluctuate. You can't kind of go in and kind of feel that, okay, so it's always going to go up. That is not the case. If you look at the trajectory over time, Bitcoin has gone up and down and up and down, but the trend has been an uptrend. And so often what I advise to beginners is, if you're going to go in with a long-term mindset as opposed to a short-term mindset. If you go in with a short-term mindset, you're just going to have a heart attack every day. Another thing is, it's not the risk of owning crypto, but it's the risk of preserving your cryptocurrencies. So cryptos are kept in wallets. There are different kind of wallets. Depending on the kind of wallets that you use, you might have different kind of different level of security for that wallet, right? So the more a wallet is connected to the internet, the more risks you have from that wallet to for that wallet to be hacked. And so again, use the best online access practices when you are using cryptocurrencies. And I think that should be enough for now, because I do not want to overwhelm you with all this cryptocurrency talk. But again, when you are dealing with cryptocurrency, always do your research, educate yourself, and do not just go in with an expectation of becoming rich overnight, because that is the surest way for you to lose your shirt.
So the second question you covered a little bit, but basically just the fact that it is paperless and completely digital, and just obviously the fact that there could be cyber attacks that could happen and impact your cryptocurrency. Did you want to just talk about that for just a second?
Yes, okay. Yes, so yes, there can be cyber attacks, right? And there can definitely be cyber attacks. When so I mentioned earlier, one of the most valuable or most important tools in the blockchain system is your wallet. The wallet is where you keep your cryptocurrencies. So you need to be able to protect your wallet. If you do not take the appropriate measures to protect your wallet, then you can lose your crypto. Somebody, if you have a wallet on your phone, just like you have any app on your phone, sorry about that, any app on your phone, and somebody hacks your phone, they can get into your wallet. In addition to that, again, I don't want to overwhelm you, but cryptocurrencies have different measures of security in place, and these measures of security use a double key system to give you access to that cryptocurrency, private key, public key, and you need to very jealously protect your keys. your private keys especially. When you do protect your private keys, then you're able to secure your crypto even better. And so there are many other ways. Sometimes people will tell you, oh, buy this cryptocurrency, send it to my wallet. And it turns out to be like a fake cryptocurrency. So there are scammers out there as well. So you need to be very cognizant when you buy anything, or when you send your cryptocurrency to other people. Same thing for exchanges. I talked about these 400 plus exchanges. Sometimes scammers will create fake exchanges and they'll say, come and buy crypto on my exchange. You go, you send them your crypto to buy some, or your funds to buy something, and then overnight they disappear and your funds are gone. So again, you have to be very cognizant of that by doing your research, educating yourself before getting in.
Great. So we just have 2 more questions that we can get to. So first question is, do you have to report your crypto along with other income?
Yes, you do have to report. Okay, so I'm not giving any kind of tax advice. And again, I will encourage you to definitely reach out to your accountant if you own crypto or plan to own crypto from a tax perspective. But yes, if you want to be to have a good relationship with the government, because after all, we all have to abide by laws and regulations. Report your cryptocurrency, yes, always. So in the US, for instance, you need to, once you transact about $10,000 of cryptocurrencies, this is when you need to really report it. But I mean, typically, if you're just using, just a few hundreds, a few $1,000s, that reporting is not always necessary. But again, double check with your accountant. And the Canadian government, in fact, has a website. If you go on canada.ca, they have a website where they really explain the best practices tax-wise when it comes to cryptocurrencies.
And the last question is just, can you invest in crypto within a TFSA?
So you can. So there is a new company that was approved for, I believe, an ETF. The name is kind of escaping me, but it's a crypto ETF, a Bitcoin ETF. And so you can invest into your TFSA by purchasing that ETF. So of course, it's kind of a second-hand kind of crypto instrument. It's not really a cryptocurrency instrument. It's kind of an ETF that is pegged to a specific cryptocurrency. But if you don't want to own crypto or buy crypto directly, and you want to be able to accumulate something that resembles the value of a specific cryptocurrency into your account, then you can just use that Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF or whatever ETF that they have available. So it's all approved by the Canadian government, so it should be fine.
Yeah,
and I see
the big one. So the big one is QETH.U. So if anybody wants to look at the symbol of QETH.U, I'll put it in the chat. That's the Ethereum based ETF that you can invest in. It is under your TFSA as well. Great, Natalia. So I think that is it. We're right on basically 9 o'clock. So thank you very much for today. We really appreciate. And obviously you left your contact information there. If anybody has any questions, they can reach out to you directly. And we look forward to the company that you're building. It's pretty exciting what you're building. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for your support. And yes, do not hesitate to reach out if you want to discuss this further. Thank you so much.
And thank you for everybody attending. It's really nice to see everybody. And like I said, next time, hopefully we'll see half of you at least in person, and of course the rest of you virtually as well. So once again, thanks for coming to our quarterly breakfast. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.